Gallo.
Gallo, OKC Thunder. Shai, just wanted to ask you about the looks that they were able to get from three and the looks that you got. It seemed like the 3-point line seemed to be a bit of a difference tonight in terms of the flow of the game.
Yeah, they made a lot of shots tonight, and that's what good teams do. When they're comfortable, they make shots, and I think they were across the board a little bit too comfortable all night. But yeah, they made us pay for, I guess, kind of giving them that, and you could kind of feel it from the way the game started. They were ready to go. They were physical. Now we took their first punch. They punched back. Game of runs is basketball. They finally came out on top, but we just got to be better from the jump.
You guys have gone through so many of these situations for the first time as a group all season long. Is there almost a level of like maybe embracing or excitement to attack a challenge like this that you haven't faced in the postseason yet? Having to respond to a loss.
Yeah. No matter what's thrown at us, we compete, we give it our all, we do it together, and we see where it gets us. And that's what we've done all year, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
I know you're not on Luka primarily, but from your point of view, what you're seeing, like, obviously he didn't look like this in game one and a lot of round one. Like, what did you see different from him compared to Tuesday tonight?
I think it feels like he played the same game, his game. He just it feel like tonight he made shots. They might have had us a little bit more spread out, like in our shell. We got to crowd their best players, obviously. That's what everyone tries to do. But yeah, he just made tough shots tonight, I think.
And since the beginning of the season, like I think back to the Cleveland game where you guys were down 10 with 2 minutes to go. You've been in situations like this where you could, hit that final gear and kind of have that response. Just what did you feel like it was in tonight's fourth quarter that maybe limited that final swing?
I think a lack of execution and focus. Certainly on my part, had a few plays that I could have prevented if I had focused better. But yeah, especially when you're down that much with that little time, the margin of error is slim, and you got to be pretty much perfect for the rest of the game, and we weren't.
Shai, following up on Gallo's second question, I mean, you guys didn't face really any adversity in the first round, getting that sweep. Now going back to Dallas with the series tied, are you sort of curious to see how you guys are going to respond to that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I'm excited for the challenge. Yeah, I don't think for us it's more complicated than trying to be better than we were tonight for next game. And like we've done all season, just solve all of our problems with the whole team.
You mentioned execution. Mark mentioned execution. What are the things that you feel like you guys could have executed a little bit better as the game went along?
Off the top of my head, I had the under out of bounds where PJ got the dunk. That was 2 points. PJ ducked in and got like a and one layup. That's 3 points. 5 points. And then just like our rotations, closeouts, they had a few like blow-by layups. That's just off the top of my head, but there's probably more.
Go ahead, Jenny, first row.
Shai, with the points that Luka got tonight, 29 is not out of the realm of possible for him, but he gets 7 assists, 11 boards. I mean, are those the type of things that if he's going to score points, you have to limit the other stuff? Or how did you guys feel like you can balance out the fact that he's probably going to have some nights where he's going to score like that?
Yeah, obviously a really talented player. He had a big night, and it was below his average, believe it or not. He's a really talented basketball player. Yeah, I think it's more like just making him work for everything and making things tough. He's seen every coverage, every defense. It's just about making him work, and hopefully that wears on him.
Did you get any explanation on the technical foul you received?
Yeah, he said that Scott said that it seemed like I was playing through the no call and extended my arm. I told him I didn't try to, but hey, it is what it is.
But it was the elbow, wasn't it? Any conversations with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was elbow, yeah.
a couple times tonight. That alternating thing with you, because he goes in the post sometimes. He also knocked down some threes tonight.
Say again, sorry. What was your question?
Being matched up with PJ tonight, did that alter anything with you being matched up with him on the defensive end?
Did that alter?
Yeah, with you being matched up against him.
Not really. He played well tonight, made some shots. I think the other team's really good and they're here for a reason. And we're gonna have nights like this where they're hot and they make shots, and we got to be even better when they do so to try to get a W. And we just weren't good enough tonight for that.
Anyone else?
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Mark, the difference, at least statistically, seemed to be at the three-point line tonight. What did you think about the looks that you guys got from three and the ones that they got?
We'll look at the looks. I mean, I thought, credit them. They shot the ball really well, especially coming out of the gates. But we were able to stabilize the game. We weathered a pretty good storm there in the first half, got it in striking distance, took a lead in the third. So we gave ourselves a chance, even after the hot shooting. And I just didn't think we executed well enough either end to really grab a grip on the game. Credit them. They came in and played really well.
On those threes, the Mavs got a lot of attention paid to Kyrie and Luka. Are you okay with the looks they got, or do you feel like you guys could have got out to them a little bit more?
It's a lot of threes. I mean, okay with some of them. Some of it's just like game plan cost. You have to give something up, and then some of them I thought were just like looseness. I thought we didn't do a great job of getting set tonight, and a lot of them came on a loose floor or in transition. They obviously rebounded the ball well, like we did last game. So it's a mishmash of things. There's some that we just have to tip our hat. There's others that are controllable that we have to correct, obviously.
And then what did you think about you guys' pace tonight?
I'm sorry?
Pace.
I thought at times good. We were taking the ball out of the net more tonight than we have in a while, which slows you down. But I thought, we tried to go at times. Our decision-making wasn't as sharp as it's been. I didn't think we had great attacks tonight offensively. I just didn't think we were as sharp on either end of the floor as we've been in a long time. So got to learn from it, figure out, how we can improve and be a better team in Game 3.
You gave like a back cut dunk with like 2.9 on the shot clock, and a couple walk-in threes. I can remember. What are maybe the specific possessions that you think back on, like those are the errors that you usually don't make?
Yeah, I mean, there were a good amount of them tonight. Credit them. I mean, it's a heavyweight fight, and we threw a punch the other night. They threw a punch tonight. Part of fighting, is throwing them, and part of fighting is taking them. We took one tonight, but so not to take anything away from them, but I just thought from an execution standpoint, there was just too much unearned. The one you mentioned certainly, but it was a lot of plays on both ends. I thought there were some offensive plays where they get runouts, just on lack of execution or a decision we made. So something we can learn from. I mean, we've been a team that's grown through everything. We've grown through a lot of success this year. We have to grow through, like I said, taking a punch tonight.
You went with Wiggins over Giddey in the second half. What went into that decision, and what hasn't worked, would you say, in Giddey's minutes?
Say it one more time.
What hasn't worked in the Giddey lineup so far?
I wouldn't say it didn't work. I would just say, it's a halftime subs is something we've done for a long time. It's basically an in-game substitution. So I don't view it as any different than checking somebody into the game with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter or something. So we're going to keep it fluid. We went big right away early tonight. I thought that looked pretty good. We're going to be a moving target there, do what we think is best every night. Every game's different. We're going to keep doing it.
Luka's obviously going to get points. He's that kind of scorer. But what did you maybe need to do better against him tonight? Had 7 assists too. I think double-digit rebounds. Are those the type of things you have to hit and live with the points, or what did you feel like your defense did with him tonight?
Again, every possession's different. I thought to start the game there was kind of like a correction on his part. Not that he corrected it, but I mean, last game he didn't shoot the ball very well. There were some looks that he got last game that he's probably used to making. He made more of them early in the game tonight. I didn't think, it was necessarily, what we gave to him. I thought it was some of the rotations out of it. Some of the help wasn't quite as early as it was last game. It was more of those things where they get the easy stuff. But, I mean, he's going to earn it. Irving's going to earn it. Those guys are great players. Mark, just to start the fourth quarter, I mean, Shai was in for like all of maybe 35 seconds. You put Dort and Kaysen in together, which I don't know how many times we've done that to start the fourth this season. Just what went into that decision just to start the quarter?
The Shai one is just we had possession, just trying to utilize him for one offensive possession there with a deficit and then sub him right out. Kaysen and Dort, they played Doncic. They got him a blow in the third, so Dort had fouls. We got Dort off with him and wanted to make sure that for the rest of the game we matched his minutes. Kaysen, I thought, was playing pretty well at that point.
Yeah, and you guys have responded in situations like that in fourth quarters all season. You've seemingly always had that next gear. Just what did you see in the fourth that maybe limited that final gear?
We got a really good opponent that played really well tonight. So, we tried to scrap back into it. I thought our effort was really good tonight. I thought we tried to gear it up a couple different times. I thought we left something to be desired was execution. And that's part of these things. I mean, these are emotional games. It's hard to sustain that for the period of time that we have leading into this game. Now we just got to get, the car back on the road and be a little bit better on both ends.
Mark, after a sweep in round one, are you curious to see how you guys respond to maybe the first taste of adversity in the playoffs?
Yeah, curious but confident. I'm not sitting here wondering. This is a team that's made a habit of, getting back up. We keep a pretty steady temperament through the ups and downs of the season. And this is just part of the deal. I mean, this is the playoffs, playing against really good teams. These are deep waters. And so, like I said, you're going to throw some punches, you're going to take some punches, and now we got to eat one, get back to 0 tomorrow and be a better team in game 3.
You mentioned execution. You mean, can you just clarify on that missing shots or just really just clarify what you mean by that?
Definitely not missing shots. It's more, what's generating the shots, how quality the shots are. Is there something that we could have done better from a process standpoint? And then same thing defensively. If, they make a tough play, you tip your hat to them. But you just got to bet over the course of a 100-possession game that if you do it well on both ends of the floor, it'll yield a win. I didn't think we played like that tonight. And to credit them, they did. They played really well. That was part of it, too.
Mark, just to the points that Joe made in his question, because you guys haven't lost in over a month, what does that look like preparing these guys for the emotional gaps now between these days?
We've lost a game before. This isn't uncharted waters. We just haven't lost lately with long layoffs and the sweep in the first round. So the team pulls together. The thing I respect about our guys is they pull together in adversity, and we've pulled together in success, which is hard to do too. So everything we do as a team. We'll learn from this one as a team, and we'll walk out there as a team on Saturday.
Mark, you mentioned Luka and some of the shots he missed in game 1 he happened to make in this game. How do you sort of parse between the law of averages bouncing back versus sort of shot attempts you guys want to limit that you weren't able to tonight?
Yeah, that's the challenge. I thought there was a law of averages thing tonight with him. He made some shots early, especially. And then we went and got him a little bit tonight, and the execution out of those plays wasn't great. We mixed our looks again. I think that's important against him, is not to give him a steady diet of anything. Same with Irving. Those guys have seen everything, so they'll calibrate pretty quickly. But we just got to, tighten the screws on the execution a little bit on that end.
You mentioned the double big lineups. You didn't go to that much this season. What's kind of motivated you to use it like you have, and what's working?
I thought in both games it's given us a nice rim presence. It's given us a nice rebounding presence, and I think with the way that they defend us, it doesn't really alter us much offensively. We're able to stay in character. Obviously, Jay Will shot it well early tonight. I think that makes them think twice about some coverages, and so it's just another option. And like I said, early in a series, every possession feels like it has a lot of gravity to it, but early in a series, you want to create optionality. You want to figure out what you have. You want to figure out what the best thing is, and we tried to do that here through 2 games.
Dort was in foul trouble for good chunks of this game. What are your thoughts on just how he's being officiated specifically?
They're not all defensive fouls. There's a couple loose ball fouls. Last game he had an offensive foul, so it's not all just how he's guarding Doncic. But I mean, with the physicality of him, the physicality of Doncic, he's going to pick some up. We'll balance. When to use him and when to roll the dice and when to get him out. I think Kaysen's done a nice job spotting those minutes in both of the games, so we have confidence in him and the other guys. So I think he's been officiating. I thought the officiating crew tonight again was pretty steady.
Anyone else? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Damn.
Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. Jalen, you guys knew that they were going to respond differently in Game 2. What's your takeaway now, kind of after seeing this degree of the fastball that they can throw?
Kind of just move on to the next. It's a 1-4 series. Probably just watch some film tomorrow, and I think we didn't really execute as well as we probably wanted to. I think games like this is always good to just kind of look at the mirror and not really focus too much on what they did. It's just more kind of what we can control. They shot it really well, so you got to kind of tip your hat to that and kind of be ready to kind of win the days in between the next game. Like I said, though, it's the 1-4 game, so you don't want to get too high or too low, even when you win or lose. So
I know that it may take some time to do that look in the mirror, but were there any things that you felt out there that are like, we know we can do this significantly better in Game 3?
I think just execute our offense a little more. We were kind of sloppy at points. Even when we were able to get back in the game, we weren't as sharp as we wanted to be. And they were. I thought they executed pretty well, especially down the stretch. Managed the clock pretty well. And like I said, they hit shots. And whenever teams do that, you kind of just got to tip your hat and be ready to play the next one.
On those doubles on Luka and some on Kyrie and passing it out to the weak side corners, do you feel like you guys could have got out to them a little bit better, or is that part of the execution that you feel like you guys can do better?
I probably have to look at it. Just the game just ended, so it's kind of like there's a flurry of stuff. I feel like I could have did better in the team, but I feel like everybody's going to have some sort of every individual player is going to have something where they could have felt like they closed out better. But when you're playing against good teams, you just kind of have to win those closeouts, regardless of who it is. And like I said, you kind of just got to tip your hat. They hit some shots tonight. They shot really well. But I think tomorrow I'll probably have a more clear understanding of what we did. But right now it's just a bunch of stuff going on that I think I could have did better. Who else we got? Let's go to Mike. Coach Schlecht and Jenny in the front, please.
Yeah, man. Hold it down, bro. Yeah.
You and Shai both talked about a lack of focus on the court. What do you think that? What do you attribute that to?
It could be a multitude of things. There's not really like an excuse to be made. If there just wasn't one, I think it's just more about winning the days in between, just getting ready to focus up for the next one. I think it'll probably be a little more clearer when you're able to watch the game a little more. But I think we just had a couple breakdowns offensively and defensively that kind of hurt us. It's not this big stretch of game where, we didn't play well the whole time. I think it was just little gaps where they were able to go on runs, and, it's hard to kind of play catch up.
You guys know that Luka, the type of scorer he is, a 29-point night is not out of the realm of possibility for him. Did you feel like you've made the shots tough enough on him? What would you sort of, when you think about what you guys did as far as what he was able to do offensively, did you guys make it hard enough on him, or is that a focus for next game?
We have Lou Dort guarding him, so it's hard as it is, but he's a good basketball player too. He hit tough ones. It's life. It's basketball. We hit tough ones too. Lou's doing a good job on him, making it tough. But like I said, he's a great player, so he's gonna get to his spots. It's just about making it hard and making it hard for him to get to those spots. And it's a make or miss league. If he doesn't make those shots, we're sitting here and we're talking about him not making shots. So that's just how it is. We're gonna keep trusting Lou with that task and just try and make it difficult.
You've talked a lot about the fan base and just the energy in the arena helping carry you guys to big runs. Is there ever just a challenge the opposite way of sort of the energy in the arena sort of pulling you guys out of focus or anything like that, or not necessarily out of focus, but whenever they're going crazy about the referees, about keeping your guys' composure in a different way?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. I think it's something we've gotten good at. They've been good all year, so the energy in here isn't really too new, and we've had a series already kind of experiencing that, so it hasn't been too crazy, but it's something, just maintain your emotions. Refs are gonna make good calls, bad calls, whatever the case may be. They're gonna miss stuff, so I think we do a good job as a team in not really focusing on what else is outside factors that that really can't really control the game. Like if they call it a foul, more than likely you can't really overturn it. So it's not really something that that's going to change the game, or they can't go back and change the call. So it's just stuff that we understand, and kind of just next play.
When you get in a situation where Luka can make shots, he can also assist. What do you want to take away from it? Does it just come down to the other guys maybe missing some shots? I mean, your Josh Greens, your Tim Hardaway Jr., some of those other guys maybe missing next time instead of hitting?
I think we're throwing different looks at Luka, so sometimes guys are going to be open, and it's kind of up to us to rotate and be there to make other guys make tough shots too. Not finna sit up here and give away a whole game plan, but I think that's what makes it a hard task to guard him, is because he puts a lot of pressure on your offense to be able to score and pass. So, like I said, it's just about us kind of containing and sticking to what we do and kind of be ready for that. I think we missed a couple defensive assignments, and like I said, it's not a big gap where we're missing defensive assignments the whole game. It's it could be 2 that end up kind of costing you the game. We kind of give up a slip on a out of bounds with 2 seconds left and they get a dunk, or Tim Hardaway's corner 3. I fouled Tim Hardaway on the 3. So there's little defensive lapses in the game that can cost you.
Anybody else? Got Slider. Why do you think your double big lineup that you haven't used much this season, it seems to be working? Why has that been effective?
We have 2 smart bigs that know what they're doing. I feel like Mark will probably give you a better answer in regards to that, but I think you're talking about Chet and Jay Will, right? Just 2 smart, high IQ individuals playing on the court together that can rotate and are smart with how they play. So, Jay Will's a really good passer too. So having him out there kind of point forwarding a little bit, as he'd say, allows us to kind of move without the ball and play off him. I made a really good pass to Wiggs down the stretch. Obviously, the touchdown pass to Chet. So they play good off each other.
Anybody else? Thanks, Duff.